Hey, good morning. Hello? Can you hear me?
Israeli government and is part of the 45 offices around the globe, including 3 others in the US. So that's Houston, Washington, DC, and New York City. Our mission is to act as a bridge between the Israeli and the West Coast of the US tech ecosystem. In practice, we help Israeli companies across all stages and all sectors to penetrate and expand in the US market and attract foreign investment to Israel. So our activities span from participating in strategic exhibitions in the US and conducting business delegations to Israel and both from Israel to the West Coast. We also work one-on-one with Israeli companies doing business development, conducting scouting projects for both US investors and corporates, and organizing virtual events such as this one. So yeah, thank you for joining today's event. The format of the reverse pitch will be 30 minutes of introduction of Mattson and then followed by 30 minutes of Q&A. And also, I'd like to mention a few housekeeping rules. Since we have a lot of people joining this meeting, please make sure to stay on mute. If you have a question, use the chat and I'll refer the question to Barb, or you can raise your hand and I'll make sure to give you the permission to ask your question directly. And we encourage you to be as engaged as possible. The goal of this call is for you to get to know Mattson, their vision, and how they work with companies and the value they can provide you. And at the same time, ask any questions or any missing information that you want to know. So yeah, after this meeting, Mattson will choose a few companies for one-on-one meetings who we will reach out to. Also, I would like to thank our partner, the Israel Export Institute, and Adi for working and helping in partnership on this event. Yeah, so just to jump right in, I would love to introduce Barb Stuckey. She is Chief Innovation and Marketing Officer at Mattson. Barb is known as a taste, food trend, innovation, and customer insights expert. I will let her take the lead and introduce herself and Mattson. So yeah, the stage is all yours, Barb.
All right, well, thank you, Vanshika. Thank you so much to the Israeli Economic Mission. This is very exciting to be able to do this today. So I'm going to start the show, and if anything happens with sound or audio or video, please let me know. Here we go. Okay, so I'm coming to you live from San Francisco, California, and I'm working from home this morning. But our innovation facility is located where San Francisco and Silicon Valley meet. And we think that's important because it really is this culmination of innovation and startups and San Francisco's really rich history of culinary and food trend generation. So about myself, I have been at Mattson for 25 of our 44 years in business. And I also wrote a book about the science of taste. So this is very interesting to me. When I started, I did not have any background as a professional taster, which was part of my job. So I spent years doing research and wrote the book. Very interested in ingredients that moderate taste. So I think that I'm sure some of you on the call are in that space. I taught at the San Francisco Cooking School for 10 years. We taught the science of taste. I also am a contributor to Forbes.com, where you can read about food trends, the business of food, food innovation. And I sat on the Plant-Based Food Association Advisory Council for a number of years in the past. So our value to clients, and I'm just going to consider all of you all prospective clients in this pitch, is to help you identify big ideas for your food and beverage business and to make sure that they are viable, because there's no sense in pursuing something that has no basis in technical feasibility. Then we help our clients execute against these big ideas with product design, product development, and product scale up with speed and excellence to result in craveable products. So I am going to try here to take you through a video tour, but just a little bit of background of who you're going to see on the tour. So we are 100% employee owned. So everyone you see will be an equity stakeholder in the business. That makes us very special and gives us a unique culture of owners who really care about our clients' work and their business being successful. We are a range of strategists, food scientists, scale-up specialists, insight specialists, engineers, nutritionists, you name it. If it is around food and beverage, we have someone on our team. We are driven by a passion for food. So we hire people that are really engaged in not just eating, but in really understanding food and food behavior, and in making a difference in the world and our community, mainly through the work we do for our clients. But also we have the Mattson Foundation, where we contribute money to charitable causes to make sure people don't go hungry. We work in mostly consumer packaged goods. So however, within that we really work in what we call 100% share of stomach. And that means for large companies, some of the largest companies in the world, you've probably heard of Nestle, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, General Mills, Kraft Heinz, and small startups. So we are engaged in helping the big companies act like startups and be scrappy and quick. And we are engaged in working with startups to understand how large companies go to scale. It's the same thing, really, no matter how big you are. Creating a new product, a new technology, getting it to market has all of the same challenges. We do work, though, across other channels that I'll click through in a minute. And you see here that there are product examples. We are focused on product innovation. And so what we tend to do is we like to show the work that we've done. These are products that we've had a hand in getting to market for our clients, as opposed to just logos. We work in food and beverage, all temperature states of distribution, all day parts, all types of eating, and fun and functional foods. So these days we're working on a lot more functional than just pure fun, but we do both. So the other channels that I mentioned that we work in, one is to help food service operators bring new products to market through their menu, sometimes creating new restaurant concepts. Mostly we're working with national and international chain operators. We work with retailers, whether they are in the business of convenience stores like 7-Eleven, or operating club stores like Costco and Sam's Club, or operating traditional grocery stores. And we also work for food service suppliers. And of course, again, we want to show the products that we help bring to market for our clients. So we are driven by strategy and enabled by insights. So not all of our clients understand what consumer or professional insights are, nor do they see the value, nor do they have the budgets to be hiring us for that. But we are always bringing our insights and our knowledge of consumer behavior, food service operator behavior, CPG professional behavior to the projects that we're doing for our clients. And where we think we really stand out is this combination of skills that we bring to our clients. So we are helping our clients identify trends and the consumer insights that are relevant to your business. We are also looking at your brand and your business and your go-to-market strategy. We are bringing culinary inspiration and creativity to the projects. But most importantly, what we're best known for is the technical development of food and beverage products. So I'll talk about that more in detail. We're located, as I said, right where Silicon Valley and San Francisco meet. We're also just south of San Francisco. So that's where a lot of biotech is coming from these days. And of course, Berkeley and the food activism that starts there. So we're right in the thick of things. Our mantra is really about getting to the food fast. So prolific prototyping for our clients, get to something that's minimally viable as soon as possible, focus on the craveability of the finished product, regardless of who's going to eat it, because you can't build a business on a single purchase. You're going to build a business on repeat purchase, so you want it to taste good. Solving a want or need in a consumer's life, in the life of a food service operator, or someone who is sourcing ingredients for developing CPGs. And then we are known for building products for scale. So we help our clients do benchtop development, but then we are always building in scale and thinking about disruption. This is what you get when you hire us, as I said, a team of 100% employee owners that have been around for a long time because they are equity shareholders. So there's amazing, intense, hundreds, thousands, possibly of years of experience amongst our team. And what we do is we take our clients from where you are now, wherever that may be, and that may be just sort of figuring out what your strategy should be in terms of going to market. Many times we will work with our clients to conduct consumer or professional insights to drive the strategy, because getting that strategy right up front is really important for the rest of the journey. We take our clients through inspirational food tours and category deep dives, ideate for our clients if they don't already have a really clear idea. We help create the concept, test the concept with consumers if necessary, getting to the prototyping very quickly, moving into development, and then helping our clients identify manufacturing partners, whether they're small, and this is just to do a trial run, or to launch into a small scale market, or whether it's going all the way to bright with in-market incubation of a full commercial launch at a contract manufacturer or your own facility. And then there's insights, opportunities all along the way. And so sometimes we'll stop and say, hey, you know what? We need to talk to this kind of person before we move forward so we can make sure we're doing the right thing to be able to commercialize our idea. Sometimes that means talking to consumers through focus groups, or whether it's with product or without. We conduct all types of insights for our clients. You see some of these pictures here are at the Mattson facility. So these are focus groups that we're conducting in our food studio. We are doing central location taste testing for our clients to make sure that the product is meeting the promises of the concept that we created together. We send product home with consumers, mostly in North America, and then do online testing of any type of research that we need to gain, whether it's testing an idea or whether it's testing attitudes and concept or product usage. And then we do the same thing with experts. So sometimes we'll do focus groups. You can see her on the right. These are focus groups we're doing at Mattson with our food science team. So trying to get knowledge on functional ingredients that would be used in formulation of products. And then you can also see that we're doing some research with professionals who are not Mattson employees. So that sometimes that's necessary, where we'll call in someone from, or groups of people from that are food service operators, or maybe CPG formulators. These professional groups have been greatly, really helpful for our clients. Sometimes we build it into the process. Sometimes we do it just later when we feel like we need this learning. But our team formulates products for all the channels that I mentioned. So to get this kind of broad input from a group of people who are formulating across categories and across companies and brands is really rare. So this is a signature Mattson service to get in front of, let's say it's 12 or so professional product developers. It can be invaluable early in the process. And then also, oftentimes I said we'll go outside and we'll find subject matter experts, whether it's on a specific technology or a specific type of nutrition that you're trying to deliver, or if it's just getting to know the channel, or perhaps getting to know the US consumer. And then we are helping our clients identify strategies to drive the business forward. Sometimes this means an existing client that's out there that needs help with growth. Other times it's with startups who are just looking for us to help define their go-to-market strategy. And then this is really what we're best known for. We are doing product development for companies large and small And half of the company approximately is in this function. So we have food scientists, 7 of them have culinary degrees. So we're bringing that culinary and creativity to the project. We have commercialization specialists who are, their responsibility is to make sure that everything we do will scale. We do ingredient procurement for our clients, whether it's functional ingredients, whether it's whatever we need to get to the nutrition we're trying to deliver. We do also have regulatory guidance on staff. So if you plan to make any claims, and again, we are really specialists in the North American market. Outside of that, we would have to work with outside regulatory, but if you're planning to launch in the US, we have that in-house. And then everyone is steeped in innovation. So this is all we do. We don't manage ongoing businesses. We do nothing but product innovation. And then in terms of rapid prototyping, we're working across all food and beverage categories and need states and temperature states, as I mentioned. So this picture here is one of our pilot plants. We have 2 on-site pilot plants for conducting early trials, just to make sure that when we're on the bench doing hand development, small sample sizes, trying to get the product design right, we want to eventually scale a little bit in our own pilot plants before we go out into the contract manufacturing community. And so we help our clients, help them scale it in a plant. So these are pictures of our team out in the field, scaling products for our clients at third-party contract manufacturers, which we will locate for our client based on the product design that we do. Or if we're not doing the product design for you, then we can help with someone you've already identified, or if you're going to produce the product yourself. So I think usually when I'm talking to a group of startups and people who are really trying to get off the ground, we have noticed that a lot of the energy these days is around novel, functional, and upcycled ingredients and novel technologies. So I'm just going to spend another minute just sort of talking about that part of our business. So there are a lot of companies here that have novel or new to the world ingredients. Sometimes they come to us because they're not in the food business, have never been in any part of the food infrastructure, if you will, and really need help in just sort of the lay of the land, the value chain, the supply chain, the customers, you name it. Other times these are, very, very mature businesses like Ingredion or IFF or Mitsubishi or Cargill, large companies that are coming to us for specific engagements. And we do technical assessment and discovery of your ingredient, whether it's new to the world or whether it's been in the market or whether you just have a unique twist on it. And that includes technical or culinary application development. So if you go to international trade shows, you may be sampling something that was created by the Mattson team that brings this functional or novel ingredient to life with a food and beverage application. And that may be something like a plant-based burger, or it may be an energy bar, it could be a hydration drink or a high protein dairy milk alternative. We work on applications with ingredients that are GRAS, meaning generally recognized as safe or not. Sometimes we will help our clients get through that process. We don't do the dossiers, but we do help with the submission of data that can be used in them. And we can assess your ingredients or your technology versus the competition. And we'll give you constructive and straightforward feedback. And we do long-term relationships with our clients. I'll give you examples of all of these, as well as very limited scope. So that path to market that I took you through, where there are all of these different steps along the way, some of our clients hire us for the whole thing. Others hire us for just a piece. And we bring those same resources to the party in this case. This is what we're doing for a lot of these startup companies with novel technologies or novel ingredients, is really helping them figure out the go-to-market strategy. What should their product strategy be? What should the portfolio strategy be? What channel should you launch into? Or if you've already come up with this, we'll give you an honest assessment of what we think of your strategy and perhaps ways to think about it differently. And then same thing here as we do with development of consumer packaged goods. We're helping our clients scale their ingredients and find partnerships if they need it with small manufacturers, or perhaps it's a partnership with someone who will do some of the sales and distribution for your ingredient, as well as helping with manufacturing and scale up. So I think the best way for me to explain what we do for our clients and the value that we add is to give you some case study examples. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use about maybe 10, 15 more minutes, and then I'm going to stop talking and listen to your questions. So we'll start with our nonprofit work, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with the Good Food Institute, and they are a nonprofit that is really about supporting the work of plant-based food companies as well as cultivated meat companies. And we worked with them on a communication strategy and nomenclature for the term cultivated meat. So this was about a 2-year project that we did with them, where we worked directly with the Good Food Institute and one of the larger players here in the US, Upside Foods. And that was to help create some imagery that would help consumers understand what this technology means, and then helped with creating a narrative for how to talk about this technology. And so we presented that work at the Good Food Conference a couple of years ago. This is an example of one of our clients that had a new to the world food ingredient. So a pangamia tree is probably something you've never heard of. It is a tree that has a really amazing seed that has creates an oil as well as a protein, and it had never been ingested by humans before. So while this company, Terviva, was going through the process of discovery studies around toxicity and tolerability and heavy metal studies and all of the things that you need to do to get an ingredient approved for sale in the United States, we were taking that ingredient and we were, of course, making sure that it was safe for our team to ingest, but we were figuring out what this ingredient could do. So we worked with both the pangamia oil as well as the protein and helped them identify what we like to call killer applications for these two ingredients. And that started with consumer insights, where we talked to consumers about this idea of a sustainable oil. I should mention the most important thing here is that this is a carbon negative product. So it is nitrogen fixing and it sequesters carbon. So it has an incredible sustainability story. So we talked to consumers first to see if they would understand the positioning and the strategy. We helped them hone their strategy for go-to-market. We helped create concepts, and then of course did the development. We've made samples for multiple trade shows and sales meetings that they've had with potential customers, and are helping them launch into the US market right now. So this is a great example of a functional ingredient that we've helped our client with. This is a consumer packaged goods company, Ripple. I'm not sure if you know of them, but in the US, they are one of the most successful plant-based milk companies. That these guys had a successful venture that was in the cleaning products business. And they came to us because they were just new to food and beverage. So they really needed a partner to hold their hands as they explored this opportunity for a plant-based milk. And at the time when we started working for them, they were really agnostic to the source of the plant. They were not a soy company. They were not a pea company. They were not a rice company. They didn't have a material that they wanted to use. So we helped them figure out what would be the best product for sustainability reasons. Flavor, of course, comes into play, and then future availability of the crop. So we ended up with a pea-based product. And while they were working with their pea protein supplier to optimize that ingredient, we worked on the products. So we took those ingredients as they were being optimized, helped create this original milk. This is the refrigerated milk that they still sell today, and then built out their product line with creamers and products for the food service industry, such as a soft serve mix, and then moved them into more value-added products like ice cream and yogurt and even superfood beverages. So since 2016, we've been working with them on and off. And this product, I'm proud to say, the soft serve for the restaurant industry won an award from the US National Restaurant Association. It's called a Food and Beverage Innovation Award. So we're really proud of the work we've done for Ripple. This is an example of one of our larger clients. So AB InBev is the world's largest brewer of beers and other beverages. And as you probably know, when you brew beer, there is an incredible amount of waste product that comes out of that process. It's got incredible nutrition locked up in these grains, whether it's barley or wheat or rice or whatever's used by the brewer. So the idea was to take this waste stream and upcycle it into something that could be used across the food industry. So we worked with them very, very early in the process, where they were trying to figure out, what channel do we go in? Which product do we launch with? What is the killer application for the products that we're going to launch with? So we worked with them on everything from doing expert interviews to talk to CPG companies to figure out if they would be interested in this kind of a product, to doing the development of applications like what you're seeing here, things like bars or cookies. We even worked on pasta, breads, cakes, and pizza dough. And they realized they actually took our work, leveraged it very heavily for their launch in 2020. And we continue to work with them on and off as they launch even more products in their portfolio. So this also does qualify for an upcycled food certification. So we have a great relationship with the Upcycled Foods Association. One of our team members is actually a member of the standards board there. This is an example of again, new to the food industry technology. This is based on mushroom roots or mycelium. So our client Atlas, a division of Ecovative, they had been making leather alternative products and had wanted to move into edible versions of their mycelium. They have a proprietary technology, and we were leveraging, taking what comes out of their mycelium growing technique and turning that into food and beverage. So the first product that they launched with was bacon. We really helped them optimize the product and did a ton of online consumer research to figure out everything that goes on this package. So what do you call it? What should the tagline be? What kind of claims do you want to make on the front of the package? What claims do you want to make on the back? We sent products home with consumers so that they can make it at home in their own pans. And then that incorporated that also into our recommendations for their launch package and their launch product. So they are just getting ready to scale. So they launched in 2021. And if you're in the US, see them in the Northeast in the New York upstate market right now. Another large company we work for, JBS, is the world's largest beef processor. And so they saw that they had an opportunity in the plant-based beef alternative market. So we helped them get their initial products to market. This was a very accelerated timeline. And we worked with them on consumer insights. We did all of the product design and product development, and then even found co-packers and helped them scale the product up at the eventual place where they did their manufacturing. So really soup to nuts there. And then Joy is a company of people really driven by sustainability. So when they came to us, they actually had it was an appliance that they had developed through an innovation program in San Francisco. and they wanted to create an appliance that would make plant-based milk at home. So you can make almond milk or you can make oat milk at home. And we said to them, you know, if you're going to be based on a sustainability, maybe manufacturing an appliance in China is not the best plan for launching in the US. That just doesn't sound very sustainable. But we went into the project with their appliance and said, okay, we're going to put the product in your appliance, and then we're going to take the product and we're going to put it in a blender that everyone has, or use an immersion handheld blender just to see how it works. And sure enough, after a couple of months of development, they came to the realization that their product didn't require this very complicated development of an appliance that would need to be manufactured overseas. So we launched with the initial product, which is a concentrate. It's a paste that you use to make a plant-based, it was a cashew and an almond to launch. And then they came back for a second product line, which was an oat milk powder that you make into plant-based milk. What's interesting here is that their name is JOY, which stands for just one ingredient. And so all of our work was based on getting to the finished product that we wanted with one ingredient, not two, but one. So we were successful in both of those. We also work in supplements. So in the US, the regulatory environment for supplements is very, very different than food and beverage. So this is something that was really positioned as a snack, but it does provide some functional benefits. Chill and energy, meaning it has some relaxation ingredients in here, lavender and some other functional products. Then there is an energy version that also provides energy through non-caffeine forms. We have worked on functional mushrooms, on both consumer products as well as functional mushroom ingredients. And then finally, and I'm going to stop talking, we do work for food service operators. So this was our latest food service operator launch. Big B is a small version of a Starbucks coffee chain in the Midwest of the US. And they wanted to attract a new consumer, which was a very young Gen Z male consumer. And they were not coming in for coffee beverages. They were drinking energy drinks like Red Bull and Monster and all of those in a can. This gets them into their store to order custom personalized energy drinks. And we just finished that project. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and open the conversation to questions, comments, anything I can answer for you.
Yeah, thank you, Barb, for that. It was super insightful. If anyone has any questions, feel free to go ahead.
Any B2B case studies I see from Ronnie? Yes, actually, the both of the first two that I mentioned, the Terviva Pangamia oil and Pangamia protein, that is a B2B company. They are only selling ingredients. They are not selling any consumer products. The second one was the AB InBev, the large brewer of Budweiser beer. Their evergrain upcycled barley flour is a B2B play. Again, they don't sell any consumer products, but they are selling their upcycled flours and upcycled proteins to consumer packaged goods companies. So I also have literally 100 more case studies behind these case studies. If you're interested in other categories or other types of technologies, I'm willing to, happy to share any of those case studies too. I cannot see the chat. Oh, here we go. Okay. I understand you're working with GFI. Will you work with products that are outside their scope, such as insect protein? Oh yeah, actually our work with GFI is over. So we're not working with them anymore. We love them. We love the work that they do as a nonprofit, but we work on absolutely everything and have worked on insect proteins, everything from, I like to say, you know, from baby food to alcoholic beverages and meats to plant-based milks. And yes, we work with insects. Do you connect B2B startups with corporates? Yes, actually, that is one of the things that we do. We are not in the business of brokering or actually doing sales calls with you, but where there is a fit, usually it starts with an expert interview. We find that potential customers have more of a stake in your business if they are tapped into for an expert interview. And we position that as an expert interview. Those insights actually help drive the strategy and the product development that we do together. And then oftentimes they will say, this is an ingredient that I'm really interested in, or a technology I'm interested in. When it's scaled, can you please introduce us? And of course, we'll introduce you as soon as it's appropriate. Can you advise a rough idea of how much you cost? Yes, so we work on 2 different types of projects. We have a flat fee project. Our minimum flat fee is $75,000 US, and that's for about 2 to 3 months of innovation work. Oftentimes that can be enough to get you to a prototype that is feasible, but it is certainly not the entire, you know, get to commercial production at a co-packer. It's not that whole process that I outlined. The other way that we work with clients is on a monthly fee basis, where we become a bit of your innovation team, if you will. So we're providing more services than just a limited scope of work. Those fees will range from $30,000 on up to, $100,000 a month, just depending on the scope of the work. So if there's something that you're interested in and wanted to talk further, we just need to understand the scope of what you're looking to do. And then we write what we call a scoping proposal, which would outline, okay, here's how long we think it'll take to get to what you're looking to do. Here's how much it's going to cost. And here are the deliverables that you'll have at the end of the project. Is there a need for significant manufacturing capabilities before starting a process with you? No, absolutely. You need to, honestly, you don't need to have anything other than an idea when you come to us. We've had a lot of entrepreneurs come to us and say, look, I've been thinking about this, or I did my graduate studies in this area and I'd like to tap into this learning or this knowledge that I have, and we can help set you off on a path. Usually that involves bringing something to life, some kind of prototype that will get you, to be able to go in and raise money, be able to at least start to have conversations with potential customers. So that is definitely we need very little from you, just so that what you're looking to do matches our capabilities. That's really it.
I think Stuckey had a question.
Yeah. My name is Stuckey from Lepidolite. Our company has developed, as you mentioned, all you think about is sustainability and products that are good for the environment. We developed something like this one. It's a special beer container that's made out of metal. It doesn't need to be specially recycled. It can go in the garbage. It's magnetized, and it's much more good to the environment than aluminum or glass. The energy is about 5% for manufacturing a glass bottle. Wow. We want to go to the US market. Do you do any kind of support for that thing? Because it's not in the food or beverages, the container, the packaging industry. Mm-hmm. Do you do something with that?
It's a little bit outside what we do, but I will tell you some of the questions that you're going to get asked, we could help you answer, which is, what are the benefits to me as a company that's making canned products so that the packaging companies would understand how they're going to position the product. They would want to know how it impacts shipping rates, how it impacts shelf life of products that are in the can. They will definitely want to know what type of manufacturing equipment it would be able to run on, because if it needs capital expenditure to build a filling line to fill the cans, then there's you'll have to navigate that challenge. So there are, I personally have a lot of questions for it. I have a canned cocktail client, for example, that I'm sure would be interested in the sustainability of that can. They have their own bottling lines or canning lines, and I think asking those having answers to those questions we could help with in terms of doing some professional insights work.
We did some testing with Krones, with the German company, and the adjustment are not so big. And about shelf life, we also did a testing here in Israel. We got 18 months shelf lives for beer, for fresh beer. And also the product, we did testing with the self-recycled. If you throw it away to the ground after 10 years or something like that, it's get rust and back to the ground. So we make most of the question you ask, we did all the testing that can be done. We need now to do the connection with a company that's interesting about, it's more expensive than glass, but less expensive than aluminum. But we need a company to help us put it to the market.
Yeah, we should, let's talk offline, because I think it's a really interesting proposition. And I just want to kind of think about how we might help. But if we could follow up after this, I think that would be great.
Okay, I put my email in the chat, no problem.
Great.
Thanks.
Any other questions from anyone?
I believe Dan has a question.
Yeah, I wrote it. What is the right way to start working with you? What is best practice to do that? How do we go from here?
The easiest way is for us to conduct a call and for us to understand where you are today, where you want to go or think you want to go. And from that, we can recommend well, first of all, we'll say whether or not we're the right partner. And then we would write a very quick, it's like a 4-page scoping proposal to outline the path that we would recommend taking to get you to the objective. And that would outline timing, deliverables from our end, and cost. So if you're interested in that, we could set up a call, and happy to do that.
Yeah, please. And one more question, while doing this process, are there any milestones where you in the process of go, no go?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Usually if it's a minimum fee project, we'll be looking to have achieved something. And then at that point, at the end of that engagement, that minimum engagement, if you choose to move forward, that's great. We'll just keep moving and keep working together. And if not, you're done. And so we can work go, no go into the proposal.
Great, thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions? So I have a question. What do you see emerging trends or emerging markets within the food tech industry in the US?
I think right now the biggest need from everyone is sustainability. So they need a sustainable product and package, Stuckey. It's an issue in the food service industry for sure. It's an interest in the consumer products industry. And more, we are having to source ingredients. So we're doing the procurement of the ingredients for our clients that meet their sustainability goals, which oftentimes are quite strict. Many of the large public companies have published their ESG goals. And so they have to get on this. So, you know, that can be everything from a novel ingredient like pangamia oil, which is carbon negative, to an upcycled ingredient like evergreen, which is utilizing a waste product that would normally not go to human consumption. And then also just making sure that we're sourcing in a responsible way for our clients. I think that's the input side. The output side is that we still think there is opportunity for innovation within plant-based alternatives, opportunity for innovation within cultivated meat alternatives. So we're still, you know, even if you're hearing the numbers about volumes kind of plateauing, we're still doing a lot of work in those two areas. There have been a lot of launches and entrants into the market that don't have a point of difference. We think there's going to be a shakeout. And so there's definitely still opportunities for companies that are making alternatives. You know, in the food service industry, there's definitely opportunity for automation. We are seeing that, well, you all, I'm sure, know that labor is just an incredible bottleneck these days. So restaurant operators are having to shrink their menus. They're having to pay outrageous hourly fees just to get enough employees to run their restaurants. So any automation is definitely of interest that can be done within the restaurant setting. And let me think about other things. You know, we see an opportunity in healthy aging, where everybody's talking today about Gen Z and what they're going to do to appeal to the Gen Z consumer. There are some very wealthy Gen X and baby boomers out there that are spending a lot of money on their health and their longevity and their memory and their, you know, there's just a huge market there if you've got the right ingredients and story for really maintaining health through the aging process. So that's another area we're really, really excited about. And of course, allergens are a concern for every single project that we're working on. So non-allergenic versions of ingredients and products that are on the market, it's a big issue. Not one client is not concerned about allergens. So we're formulating with certain ingredients more than others just because they're not allergenic, not because they're better. Do you have experience in the sugar replacement market? Do you focus more on development, R&D, regulatory support, or business development and introduction to potential partners based on specific criteria? I would say we do all of the above, although, as I said, we don't specifically do business development for you. We can help with coming up with a list of targets. So in other words, a sales strategy for your ingredient or your technology, whatever it is. Have we done sugar replacement? Absolutely. And everything from baking to confectionery to savory sauces to you name it. If I can give you I think someone asked for a contact. It's very simple. It's Barb, B-A-R-B, at mattsonco.com. B-A-R-B at mattsonco.com. And I will type it right here.
Hi, can I add a question? Because I wrote it and you
Sure.
skipped it. My name
Go
is
ahead.
Liat from Chickpea. Can you elaborate a little bit about the sustainability part which you mentioned and what is your role in helping startups? Because sustainability, it's a big word. So in what way do you see the trend and how it is related to ingredients? We are a company dealing with an ingredient. So obviously the starting point is sustainability. It's a key word. But in what way do you assist and what kind of obstacles there are in the US market related to that?
So, I mean, can I just first say we love chickpeas? They are non-allergenic and can be
Sure.
sustainable and high in protein and
And a complete protein as well with all the relevant amino acid, right?
and fiber. I mean, it's a complete package. So we're very bullish on chickpeas. You know, we are not a sustainability agency or consultants. We are a product innovation agency. So I don't know that I can answer that entirely. We understand the challenges of getting new products to market these days. There has to be a sustainability story for everything that's launching. I mean, I can't imagine a project where we wouldn't be focused on it. So that is our perspective. So when our clients are coming to us, we're helping them refine the message for whether it's their ingredient or their product or their technology. And leading with sustainability is oftentimes the right approach. If your product has benefits versus what's currently in the food system, we can help you figure out how to really validate the benefits in the product form that it will be used in.
So it's more of the story, not the regulation or the aspect of sustainability which companies are looking for when they sign your ingredient internally. That's not something that you're doing.
That would
Because
be
sustainability, there are more than 20 different objectives of sustainability in the UN. So I guess everyone can say that he's doing a sustainability program internally. So
right.
I'm asking specifically as regards to barriers or blocks that you have in the US market when you want to penetrate, scale up, commercialize your ingredient in the US. Do you have expertise over there?
Yeah, I mean, we are experts in the US market. I would say that the questions that you're asking would be the type of engagement where we would do expert interviews to figure out the answers to those questions. And it's going to differ by ingredient or technology. And it's going to differ by where that ingredient or technology goes in the, you know, in which channel and in which part of the value chain. So that's something that we would, I think we would.
Yeah, you need to investigate. There aren't a specific or specification to the sustainability title.
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
Okay, so thank you.
I think Dan had a question. This will be the last question, then we can start wrapping up.
Yeah, just a quick one. If you can share with us any knowledge that you have on plant-based eggs, why is this market so small in the US or anywhere?
It's a great question. I don't have an answer to that off the top of my head. I think part of it is that there's probably only one product on the market in the US that's even barely good, and it's not great. So I think that there isn't a really good solution. You know, of course, and I'm talking about Just Egg, which is a very good product. It's not perfect, but it's a very good product. But is there an opportunity for someone else in the market? Absolutely. I think there's an opportunity for people in many different brands to come into the market with different propositions. So, you know, the Just product is not a very clean label. So to get to their product performance. They utilize certain ingredients that maybe wouldn't qualify for distribution in Whole Foods or one of our larger retailers. So I think there's opportunity. I don't know why, other than that, why it is such a small market. Other than, that's again, something I would want to ask consumers. What do they feel that eggs are sustainable enough? If you look at the eggs that are sold in the US, many of them are advertising or marketing on their product that it's cage-free, that they are organic, that they are free range. They are, so the consumer is seeing progress on eggs. So I think they're feeling like there's maybe some solutions already in place, and they don't feel, and maybe that's it. They don't feel the doom and gloom that we hear around beef, because all consumers are aware of that. I don't think they hear that about eggs. So that's my gut reaction. I don't think they think eggs are contributing to global warming. So and they're seeing progress in terms of animal welfare.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Barb. I'm sure everyone found that super useful and insightful. In case anyone has more questions, I've left my email address in the comments section, and we will follow up with companies that Barb picked. Yeah, again, it was fantastic for everyone to join here, and I really appreciate everyone contributing to the conversation, including at the end. And I know that there's some unanswered questions, so yeah, please contact us if you do have any more questions or comments, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah, and I want to thank you again, the Israel Economic Mission. Really, really appreciate this opportunity. And I will make an offer to everyone on this call. If you are in the San Francisco Bay Area, come have lunch with us. Let us give you a tour of our innovation facility. Let's talk. We'd love to engage. So you have that open invitation to come have lunch with us.
Thank you. Lunch base.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much, Barb, and everyone that joined. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and everyone in Israel have a good night. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you.